Oh boy, it's a Saturday and I'm out in the garage, or I guess the wash bay, and I got my GT3 here, which I'm really not looking forward too much to washing because it's still not corrected and protected, but I've got bug guts all over it from riding at night. I tell you what though, when the car's not corrected and I get crappy PPF all over it, it makes you not worry about it all that much. But we got to get it clean. So let's get it clean, and I figure, what better time than now to have a good old-fashioned chat, talk to you about what I think about what's going on, if you care about it, in the world. Talked a little bit about it on the podcast. And we'll play with some products here and do what I do. So I talked about this on the podcast quite a bit, but the plan here is to do a giveaway, which I wasn't planning on doing, and I wasn't real excited to do. I was kind of hoping I could, find someone that really wanted my M5 that would pay at least, a little bit of, a little close to what it was worth, or close to what I have in it. Again, it's a 60, high 50s, low 60s car value. And then, of course, we've got a lot of really nice parts on it, which dum-dums get all excited about. Like, you don't get money back on aftermarket parts. I said, well, you do if they're brand new and somebody was going to buy the same part. So, anyway, on Friday, me, Bryce, Mike, Kyle, and Jeff were kind of sitting there brainstorming, what if we did a giveaway, what would that look like? And I got the attorney on the phone, and she said we can kind of get done what I want to accomplish. And so we're in it. We're going to do it. So I've got it figured out. I think it's going to be really cool. So I got some really cool ideas. Some I think I can get done. Some are a bit of a stretch. And others I'm certain we can get done. But here's the plan. So the goal is to get everything bonded and set up because you have to get a bond with the state of Florida and the state of New York. And then we're going to set it up for April 15th. And it'll likely be a 2-month deal like normal. And I'm going to have a whole slew of different items, not just a bunch of t-shirts like I have done in recent past, but we came up with some cool ideas that we're gonna work through here this week, getting set up. I want to make sure it's viable, and then we're going to give the M5 away, and then the second that that's done, we're going to start up with giving the Z06 away. So that'll be a whole nother giveaway. But I'm getting fired up about it because I'm excited about some of the things we're going to do, some of the products we're going to create, some of the packages we're going to do. And I figured I'd talk to you a little bit about that today and where I'm at on that. So product one is going to be membership. So the membership platform, the app that we're using is rather limited in functionality. And so the ability for all of you that we have, I think, 1,300 members, the ability for all of you to just go in and add another year to the app. So to get a bunch of entries, I haven't figured out how we'll do the numbers of entries and all of that. But to get into the app and do that is just not, it doesn't work. And so what we're going to set up I really got a mineral spirit wipe this crap off of here. But what I'm going to set up is a way for people to re-up. So you can add another year to your membership and get a bunch of entries. So that's one way. You got Hex Plus, Hex Lite. So those are two ways to enter. Then another way is going to be, we're going to get OG banners. So we're going to get Obsessed Garage banners for the garage, a 3 foot by 5 foot, and I think a 2 foot by 5 foot and a 3 foot by 8 foot version. Yeah, with the main Obsessed Garage logo. So we're going to have that, which I think will be pretty cool. People have been asking for that for a long time. And we're also going to have, you remember for those of you who watched the VinWiki garage, the logos that we put on the wall? I had those made. So the Hex logo will also gain an entry. Then the other thing I'm most excited about is we're going to do a vintage series meaning vintage Obsessed Garage cars. So F80 M3, 1M, E92 M3, so vintage and current. I'll probably do the Sapphire Blue GT3, obviously the M5, because that'll be part of the giveaway. So we're going to do all the cars and do posters and give you the option. If you want me to sign it, I'll sign it. If not, we'll send posters out. So we're going to do large poster type prints, so that'll be another thing. The other thing that Bryce came up with, which I thought was a great idea, is we're going to have a few different little detailing packages. I haven't nailed those down. We'll probably have a glass pack. We'll also have I think I'm going to do like a P&S pack, and then something else, like a third, like in some sort of interior type, something to do with leather care or something like that, since I've done a lot of videos on that here recently. Then, so the photos of the cars we're gonna try to do two different things. We're gonna have like a rendered version of the car, and then like a real version of the car, and choose a photo. Another thing I'm working on the detailing front is Obsessed Garage edition. So we'll do like a numbered edition of numbered edition is Obsessed Garage Crystal Serum Light XO pack. So it'll have a limited edition Obsessed Garage, logoed bottle and box for XO and CSL. Again, I can sign it if people want or not. There will be a few people who will want that. And then, so that I think will be pretty sweet. I think we can get that done. The other thing I got approval to do, I talked to my friends at IND. I was going to do a special edition 5D or 15 LHR 15 Mark III, but we're going to do an OG edition where we paint the case, the center of the case, do a design with a OG logo and Le Mans blue. We'll call it the limited signature edition, maybe limited to 50 LHR 15s, which I think would be really sick. I know I want one of those. I don't know if I can pull that off in time, but I'm going to try. Then we're going to have, you've seen me wear that black hat, it's called from a company called Richardson. So it's a black snapback that I think is really cool. And so we're going to have that. We're also going to have probably two shirts. We'll do the Mattyism shirt, and we'll do it in probably some sort of black and gray color. And then maybe a couple of other things. So I think this could do well for me, but also be fun to do the giveaway for people that want to get involved. I just think it could be really cool. So that's happening, and then we'll do some different cars. Some of my other cars for the Z06, like the white RSs, the Raptors, the GT350, and do those posters as well. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to get posters for myself. we're gonna outfit the media office with them. Yeah, we're pretty clean here. This is gonna be no fun to wash. This is all the crap just sticks to this thing. So this will serve a couple of purposes. For, you know, for the one, it'll help me lose less money on the M5. It secondly will hopefully encourage me to continue to do project cars like that. Maybe just not as often and at such scale. Take my time on another project car if I do another car, and then give it away. And see if, you know, if we gain more interest by doing some other cool products and packages, and add some detailing stuff in there. You know, the main thing is that, again, it doesn't do me any good to just make a, you know, for every $5 you spend on the main store, because then I'll end up giving away a $100,000 car and selling the same amount of stuff and losing 100 grand. So I really want to do it where it's fun for everybody. You know, I'm going to continue to make Inside the Hex videos. You know, like if you become a new member of that, you know, now it's robust. You know, there's lots of content and information, lots of stuff you can go in and watch and really get a good take on where I am in life, if you care about that. Shoot, if you didn't like what I was doing, it'd be a good way for you to go watch and get all kinds of insight into figuring out how to take me down. So the only difference is I can see who's in there. So anyway, yeah, so we're going to be doubling down here. We're going to be making lots and lots of YouTube videos. I'm making one now. And we're going to do a wash and talk of the M5. Maybe I'll do a wash and drive on it. Lots and lots and lots of videos, lots of product stuff coming. I ordered the Sonic toolboxes, so the S9, S12, S12 XD. And then once I get done with those, once I get done videoing and shooting those, I'm also going to take on a project where I go to Lowe's and buy a bunch of Craftsman and a bunch of tools from Lowe's, and then grab Tool Grid and then outfit the toolbox with all of those tools, just to kind of, you know, and video that so you can see, you know, the process of. It'll also give you an idea of how to build out the Tool Grid packages. So I think that's going to be kind of a neat little video series. I'll be publishing and sending, so all of you who bought something from me are on our email list. If you haven't opted out of it, I'm going to be publishing I was working on it today, cleaning it up and making it look pretty, but I'm going to be publishing the pressure washer list. And then I started searching around for, you know, some of the new Greenworks and some of the new pressure washers that have come out since I finished the project. What am I missing? There's a couple of AR professionals that I got to get my hands on to test. But we have a nice, robust list with my recommendations on it. So we're going to email that out to everybody, put it up on the website. I'm going to make a video about it, get that data out there in the world. You know, when I realize I've had it pretty darn easy to this point. And so now I'm, you know, scared into dialing it up even more. You know, I do a lot of work, and we all, you know, the people that work for me do a lot of work. But this is the time to do more. I want to provide off the charts value to people, and you know, continue to chase. And we'll probably be doing, I'll probably average a video and a half a day. You know, some days we'll do 2, some days we'll do 1, but we'll probably have, more often than not, a couple of videos every day. Again, these are carbon ceramics, but, you know, every third wash or so I like to do a full cleaning like what I'm doing right now. and waiting for more bottles to come so I can swap out my old bottle and put the new one on. So in love with this gun combination. It's so good. And then I've got to transplant this week the air compressor stuff. I'm waiting for my oil water separator system that'll catch all the water coming out of the tank, which there isn't a lot, but because of the dehumidification system in OGH HQ 2.0, the new side, I guess it would be a 2.1. So I'm going to be working on the air compressors, the FIAC Werther, the Werther International little mini guys will be up in the store soon. I'm waiting on the pricing guide and the catalog from them. So I know how to price it for you. But yeah, a lot going on. I'm excited about this giveaway. It's going to be a little different because, you know, the car's already done. I may do little tweaks to it here and there, so what you're going to see is me doing some videos around what we're giving away, doing videos of more normal stuff with the car, normal washing the car, not big projects, and then also I guess I'm going to have to do like a commercial at the beginning and end of each video to remind people to go sign up for the giveaway. But there's a possibility, I'm trying to work it out to where I have the option, if we do well enough on the giveaway, that I end it at 30 days. It's tricky though, you know, to have the option to run it or extend it. So I'm going to add some non-diluted. So I want the option to extend it in case we only profit 30,000 bucks, or if there just isn't as much interest as we need to make it viable. But I don't know. The one I'm interested in is the Corvette. How is that going to do? Bryce and Mike are convinced that the Corvette is going to do even better than the M5. All right, let's rinse it and foam it. So yeah, I'm pumped about this, the M5 giveaway, and hopefully it, it does as well as I think it can do. I feel like this is the worst pollen season I've ever had. Just keeps going and going. Yeah, we got to get Martin on the ExoShield stuff. I got to talk to him about it this week. Get him doing ExoShield for us so we can put that on the windshield. And then I got to talk to Billy about I just get this darn thing corrected and get it down to them to do the PPF. All right, let's get our bucket set up. Some coarse foam, we'll let that dwell or run off while we're getting set up here. We'll just dump the extra soap. Of course, this is the new Obsessed Garage plug, a quick disconnect for the foam cannon. I filled this up a little too much. Yeah, the as seen on TV little nozzle is still doing great. Love it. Made a good choice there. Not getting hung up on the where it's from or who makes it, and more of the backlash that I'm going to get from people telling me how I should do things instead of just following my gut like I always do. I'm glad I only listen to myself and not others. See, the bottle stands up just fine. There's no tipping at all. It stands up great. So we'll have about, I think we have, Rusty's making a couple hundred more of them, so they should be here soon. A couple of weeks. So, you know, I've been talking about this on the podcast and a couple other videos, and you know, people see us still showing up at work every day, and you know, I talk a lot about this is the opportunity time. This is the time where, you know, I've kept my mouth shut on this because I don't know, I'm not an expert, but it sure does seem like this. It's not that any of this is bull crap that we're kind of going through here with a virus. It's just that, you know, you've got, it seems like a better solution would be to create a panel of experts that make a decision on what's closed and what's not. And there has to be greater consideration taken into effect, not just how do we not get, you know, 500,000 people or 1 million or 2 million people catch the, you know, this virus, but what, you know, maybe we put a panel together of bankers, scientists, doctors. We put a grouping of people. Maybe politicians will have a small vote, but right now you got people making the decisions on what to do without any semblance or any idea of what's going to happen or what, you know, what the fallout is from shutting everything down. So you better believe if I have to frickin' walk to OGHQ, I'm doing it. So, you know, there has to be some thought put into what's the consequence, not just, you know, the panic consequence, the, you know, how do we put proper martial law in place without actually implementing full martial law? Because that certainly full-on martial law would have likely worked better than what's working right now, you know, with raids on things like toilet paper, for gosh sakes. Just get your garden hose out if you ran out of toilet paper. What are you freaking out about? So, I don't know, man. All I know is I want to keep doing what I'm doing at scale, and certainly jeopardizes all of our way of living. Now, keep in mind, we're what, 8 days into this? So I think it's clearly we're overreacting way too soon. And so one of the things I've done is blocked. It's so funny. Some people make such huge proclamations. I guarantee you I know a whole lot more about it. Now, I don't know much, but a whole lot more about it than the people who make these proclamations, these financial doomsday. They're telling me that you better get ready, this is going to all end, and you know, maybe that does happen, but why even make that prediction? You don't know what the heck you're talking about. And even if you get it right, you still didn't know what you were talking about, you just guessed. So don't make those ridiculous proclamations to me. I'm looking for critical thinking, rational thinking, not idiots. So again, you can see me not caring much about this expel garbage that's on this car. It's going to be getting yanked off here real soon. Yeah, so again, I keep hearkening back to, if you're an employee and you're in a state where it's mandated, you have to stay home, you better frickin' figure out how to be of value and not just sit on your rear end or go out and clean your grill. You better be figuring out how to not get laid off, how to make yourself of some value. So, you know, this whole, now I've got all this time to do stuff, I don't understand that. You should have a lot less time to be screwing around. You should be figuring out and thinking about how can you provide value to the world in some form or fashion. Because I'll tell you right now, the corporation is looking to cut and cut really quickly. So be the last person to get cut. That's what I keep telling my guys and my people at OG. Let's make it so that we don't have to get cut. So don't let me get there. Now, you know, the economy is going to dictate that largely. You know, people aren't buying detailing supplies and garage stuff. There's only so much we can control there. But if we're out there, we're making videos, we're creating content, we're doing a giveaway, we're doing a lot of stuff, we're improving our website, improving the user experience, answering more questions, finishing all the projects that we had planned to finish, and just getting as far out in front as humanly possible of whatever it is we can get out in front of. It improves our odds of surviving. It improves our odds of not only surviving, but thriving. So do that in whatever it is you do. That doesn't mean hawk garbage. I guess there's always going to be people that will pander to what is going on. And I guess that's a strategy. That's a business. You're just not going to see me doing that. Talking about how, I don't know, looking at trends of what's trending, and then I'm going to make videos on that. Maybe that's my fatal flaw. I'm just not doing that. I don't think certainly isn't interesting to me. Let me go over how to disinfect your interior on YouTube, because that's what people want to know. Why? Why do you need to disinfect your interior? It should already be disinfected. You're 28 years old. So, I don't know, man. I'm just looking for, where's all the peril? Where's all the death and destruction that are causing all of this pure panic? I don't see any of it. So, like, well, Italy. Well, so is it like 75% of the population of Italy smokes, and they have a very, very old population? So you need to just use logic here. Seems pretty logical to me. Now, I'm not saying let's go out and run around and go to concerts and NBA games, but let's not bar people from going to work. The manufacturing shouldn't halt. Shipping, distribution, the lifeblood. You can't just shut down, mandate hotels shut down. They're going to go out of business. It's crazy to me. Let people make a choice. Let the business make a choice. You know, it's very likely that my CrossFit gym was mandated to close, so it's very likely that gym is going to fail. Because very likely, it's brand new, so we don't have any real brand and client-based loyalty like Obsessed Garage has to help us survive. And so, you know, I haven't had the chance to build a significant affluent following where people would just want to contribute just to keep it in place. And so what will likely happen is most people will just cancel their memberships and I'll be bleeding money. So there's a very real likelihood if, I can float it for a couple of months, but what I can't float is the 12-month time frame to rebuild a new business again from scratch. It's not that I can't. Well, and again, if Obsessed Garage doesn't do well, I'm going to be trying to hold on there and survive because we haven't thought through. We don't have a system for what's the recovery plan here. And you see all the goofs, all the people that are talking, doing so much talking online. They're in a business that it won't be affected, whether they're entertainers or they have some sort of thing where they can work from their computer no problem, or again, they're still collecting a paycheck from their boss or from the business that they work. We need to have a contingent that helps make decisions and helps make a plan for when you do shut things down, how and when, and what's the fallout. Would we be better off having 2 million people get sick versus having 3 million people die because unemployment goes to 25% and people can't eat? There has to be some balance there. Has to be a way to do that. So we can only hope that the Bill Gates of the world, Michelle's brother shared a video with me of Bill Gates predicting this exact outcome in 2015, saying we're not ready. It's so very clear. All I can say is, boy, am I glad I'm not a financial advisor anymore. Oh boy. I do like the 580 more. This is the 630. Oh, sorry, the 650. I keep calling it the 630. So I do like the 580 more than this. This one has a real high-pitched sound to it in turbo mode. So now comes the sucky part where I get to dry it with no protection on it. Yeah, I gotta get moving on this thing. I want to get moving on this thing. So anyway, the 650 CFM, you can see I got all the way around the car with no problem with a single 5 amp hour battery, no issue. So I'd recommend you go 580. The 530 is not bad either. It's a nice inexpensive option. So I'm going to use the big waffle weave towel here since we don't really have any protection on the car and there's still a lot of water sitting on it. So yeah, I have no intention of closing down HQ. We're taking all the precautions we can. We're like a gosh darn family anyway, so it's not really any different than us just going home, where HQ is home. And so what we've asked is that visitors don't come, and that everybody take as much precautions at home as they can so that way they're not bringing anything into us. But once again, I think we're going to find out that it's overwhelmingly not good, overwhelmingly disastrous for elderly and people that have pre-existing conditions. And clearly what's been done will certainly slow the spread. But I mean, I think, you know, what would have to happen to be super effective is you'd have to implement martial law for like 2 weeks, and then this would have solved its problem. But then we'd have much more predictable outcome economically if you had a couple of weeks of shutting everything down. It wouldn't be very different than a lot of Europeans. Countries have, you know, siestas and holidays where they will shut down for an extended period of time, basically the whole darn country, other than a few absolutely essential things. And I think that's probably where we'll head in the future with stuff like this after we take a bath on this one. Let's just hope it's not an infinite recovery period. But it's funny, I've had a lot of people say, oh man, I want to get Matt's, you know, stock market and financial take on this. Not anymore. I am pleading the fifth on all of that. So glad that I'm not having to deal with regular people freaking out about short-term investment losses with all these doomsday bullcrap theories. See, now what I can do is just block them on YouTube from making further comments, because it annoys the crap out of me when you get the dumbest people always make the boldest predictions, and they always have some rationale behind it. They're convinced. I knew this was going to happen. Sure you did. Then how come you're not rich? Like rich beyond imagination? Because you didn't know, and you don't know, so just keep your mouth shut. Because I don't know, and if I don't know, I certainly know you don't know. So I'm so excited to not have to have those conversations ever again. Yeah, the RS needs some loving, man. It needs some serious paint correction and detailing. I'm almost there, so I don't want to rush it. I need to get some of these other big projects done, get the air all set up, so that way I can really enjoy the experience of correcting this thing, and then send it on down to Ryan. So our plans of having the guys from Metropolitan come here from Seattle to come do the car with S-Tech Dynashield, it's not going to happen because they can't really travel. So not happening, at least not anytime soon. So, but the Smokies GT trip is canceled, so I got plenty of time to play with the car, get it set up for whatever the next trip is to the mountains. So we should be able to roll out the new site here soon. The big problem I have now is as the product line becomes more and more robust, it's just the menu system is not good. The navigation is not good. It's much harder to organize our menu system so that you can find stuff. And you know, most of you guys know what you're going to look for, but some people that aren't as invested in Obsessed Garage, that are just there for a shopping experience, they wouldn't know where to go to find something they might want. Like, you know, like they may not know they wanted a PCL tire inflator because it didn't show up in like it was just harder to find. You know what I'm saying? So we're excited to get that fixed. Yeah. I gotta pull this PPF off of here. Hope we can get it off the headlights with no problems. Should be new enough that we shouldn't have any delamination issues. I'll get this badge off of here. That'll be good. Yeah, but I love this car. Dang it, I love this car. I'm gonna love it a lot more when I get rid of those green wheels. It's taking everything in my power to not buy wheels for this thing. Keep the cash. Gotta keep the cash. Don't do anything stupid. You guys can yell at me in the comments. Matt, keep the cash. Don't buy $10,000 wheels. At least not right this minute. These wheels are fine. What I should do is just find a set of OE wheels. I actually like the look of the previous gen wheels, even though they're like a tiny bit heavier. So actually, if anybody sees some .1 wheels, I'd be interested in those in black only. Yeah, so what else? What else can we chat about here that can get me into trouble with the know-it-alls? You know, I'm telling you, I don't know it all. I don't know anything. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I just know that shutting down your business and your life doesn't make any sense to me. Wouldn't we be better off having triple the amount of people get sick, but everybody still has a job? I don't know. Is that the wrong thing to think? I don't think it is. Ooh, I can't wait to get CSL on this trim. But we're gonna wrap the whole car. Do a double tearaway here on this high impact area. Make this car look legit. Send it on down to Billy. That's what I should do. I should just call Billy and say, Billy, you detail it. Send it back to me when you're done. See, I knew you weren't a real detailer. It's all a sham. Interesting to see what happens with the dialed-in gym, across the dialed-in, and how that survives this. I don't know. It's up to the members. Do they step up? Do they care enough? I don't think they probably do. I hope they do. We needed a little bit more time for it to marinate a bit, build a solid following of patrons, if you will. The culture was what would survive, because I know that I wouldn't cancel my membership. We're doing online stuff, so we're going to do Zoom meetings, Zoom trainings, or we get together on a Zoom and work out together. I haven't been working out for squat because I've been trying to get HQ dialed and get the business bulletproof, and then I tweak my back. Got to stop doing that. Yeah, it's real interesting. You know, I get on Facebook, and haven't seen a single one of people that I'm friends with that, like, I can't think of one where I think, oh yeah, where they're sharing stuff, articles and things like that, or making proclamations, or I'm like, oh yeah, that's a person that's a really smart person in my life. The smart people are silent, right? They're saying nothing because they realize they know nothing, and so they keep their mouths shut. And the dum-dums are shouting from the treetops, telling everybody else what to do. I'm just saying, man, it doesn't seem right to sacrifice everything that's been built over the last 20 years in a couple of months of irrational panic. It just doesn't feel right to me. Doesn't seem like the right thing to do. I don't know. You know, this is very clearly seems very clear to be like a nature eradication thing. You know, this thing stems from eating, you know, from China that's overpopulated, and stems from, you know, eating things that probably shouldn't be eaten, but they have to eat because there's too many people. And so this is nature's way of resetting. It's darn scary, man. And I think that this sure doesn't seem to be the one that's going to eradicate us all, but it sure seems like we're testing the limits of the system, and the system is really broken. And if we're lucky, there'll be a silver lining to this, and that will go in and change things like politicians should not be making these decisions. It's ridiculous. The best and brightest it should be. Yeah, this car's gonna look fantastic when I get this all dialed in. I'm excited, excited, excited. So we'll see what happens with the GT4, because I'm certainly not pulling cash to buy that thing. And we'll see if banks are lending. Because if they're not, I'm not getting it. It'll be another interesting thing, you know, if we do get into a sustained downturn here, what will happen to all my, to the influencer YouTube market when you know, that'll be the first thing that gets cut by most corporations, which doesn't make a lot of sense because you should ramp that up. But what will likely happen is that ad revenue will basically disappear. And so if you don't have some sort of alternative means, whether you have a job or you have some other way of generating revenue, like I do, by having a brand and a store and providing a product and a service, you know, even for me it's sketchy what happens when that dries up. You'll see a huge ramp up in content creation, but also probably a lot of people leave that game. I don't know, it'd be really interesting to see. I'm gonna need another towel here for this. But I'm optimistic. I'm always optimistic. I know I have a monotone voice, but I'm a pretty optimistic dude. Optimistic on the future prospects. I've always been that way. About my own prospects for other people. You know, I was always a little bit too optimistic for a long time in hiring and looking at people from their potential, even though in my heart I knew that they had no chance. You know, especially in, you know, financial advising is such a hard gig to make it in. There's such a low probability of success, just because you've got to create your own way. You know, they don't give you clients, you got to go find them. So the car still cleans up nicely. But yeah, I'm super optimistic that the likelihood of this being certainly isn't going to be a non-event, but to be an overblown event, which then hopefully on the bright side of things will lead to lots of reform, lots of measures to prevent this sort of thing from happening again. You know, it's very disconcerting that now we immediately react to, you know, all the unprecedented things they did in the financial crisis of 07, 08, 08, 09. They just immediately took all of those tools and used every one of them that they made up then. And so now we're teaching the marketplace, you know, a bailout style, and that's not realistic forever. So I hope that this is as mild as it sure seems like it's probably going to end up being, but we still take it extremely seriously, revamp our political system and our decision-making system, and rule more by committee rather than a couple of dudes who don't know jack about anything making the decisions for us all. Yeah, cleans up pretty nicely. All right, so let's do, well, let's throw a new tire dressing on. I really want to get some, go grab mineral spirits from over at the garage and really strip the tires, because they still have some goop from the original, wherever the car came from. But I want to put the new OG tire dressing on this. We'll see how it does on a damp tire with some slimy silicone stuff on it already. All right, so if you haven't seen me talk about this yet, my buddy Scott, OG follower, sent me this stuff. I tried it out on the M3 and the M5. Looks freaking fantastic. This isn't a product that where you're going to expect it to last like 20 years on the tire. This will, longevity is a lot like Pearl, but it's deeper, darker, richer looking than Pearl is. And so it gives me a amazing product that I'll probably end up putting it on like every other wash. At least that's the plan. Let's see how it does on a damp tire. I think it's probably going to do better. Also a tire that isn't completely devoid of weird crap that was already on it. So I'm going to put it on all the tires, let it sit, basically until I get around it. But look how it sits in a brush. Scott likes to put it on with a foam block or a microfiber applicator. So I'm expecting to have, I don't know what the timing is, but I'm expecting to have a tote. And I think we'll create another, kind of like I did with the Citrus Red, and create a signature series, Matt Mormon's signature series, where I just put it in a bottle, sign it, and send it out to you as the first batch until we get our labels and all that, because that's going to take longer. I think people are going to get impatient, but this stuff is freaking awesome. So good. This is the tire, I don't know if you can use it on trim or not. This is the tire dressing only, really. Yeah, I like the idea of wiping the tire dry. I'd like it even more if I'd really dialed in the tire beforehand. So this is coming. Obsessed Garage tire dressing. Silica infused. Get out of here. Yeah, it's just thick enough. It responds really well to putting on the brush. All right, so it's gonna look something like this. And then we're gonna wipe it. Wipe it clean. Or wipe it smooth, but not yet. And then the result is, this has been on for like a week or so. The result on the M5 looks like that. Super sad. Let me look at that. So good. So that's why, as soon as Scott sent it to me and I saw it, I'm like, oh my word, that's awesome. So good. So good. So I'm gonna put my name on it. You know me, I didn't have any plans of doing like a private label deal, but I'll talk about where it's coming from once we get it figured out. Sick. All right, it's been on here for about 10 minutes. I moved some cars around. So I'm gonna pull this guy into the bubble, try to keep some pollen off of it. But then I just take a towel, take my wheel towel, and just wipe it flat. It comes out nice and matte. The only question is I've got some slimy, shiny crap on the tires that still hasn't worked its way off of them. And I don't like these Dunlops anyway. But I haven't even denibbed these yet. So I just wipe off the excess and end up with a nice matte finish. All right, that's a wrap. I'm just chatting you up here. Again, I don't have any of the answers, but I do know that I love Obsessed Garage, and I love the people that work for me. I love you guys that buy from us, keeping us in business. So I'd appreciate it if you keep doing that. I'd really appreciate it. keep us in business. A couple of giveaways coming here. They're gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of new product videos, cueing you in on a lot of new things. Some things you may know about, some things you may not. And you know, getting the new side of HQ set up. After this is over, I'm gonna have an open house. And then I do want to have a YouTube summit if I can, host some people, whoever wants to come, and sit around, do some roundtable discussions, detail some cars, detail the RS, detail the Raptor, detail the M3, and I'm hoping tomorrow to go over and start working on figuring out what's the procedure to get the water spots off of the trunk, since my new trunk will be shipped here from IND shortly. But anyway, stay tuned for some really cool stuff on the M5 giveaway. Cool products, and some can change somebody's life. So anyway, thanks for watching. As always, stay tuned for more crazy. Thanks for being a part of this. Catch you on the next one.